In my WhatsApp group, sometimes they ask this question about how many books have you read? Sometimes below my YouTube videos, I get, hey man, so how many books have you read? Okay. And then obviously when I ask them, how many books have you read? And they say, oh, I'm 20 years old, I've read 20 books. Okay. Some others like to say, I read one book every week. Or some others who have been following me for ages, I know that you have read thousands of books and I want to reach thousands of books. Okay, fine. Now, the question that, by the way, before I even move further, I was exactly like you when I started off. I felt, because you need to understand, I didn't have any guidance, I didn't have anybody to tell me what is right and wrong. I felt the more books I read, the smarter I became. And then when social media became a thing, I believed in the more books I tell people that I've read, the even more smarter that I am. And then when I started to put book reviews, you can literally Google search Loy Machedo book review. You'll get videos and blog posts and my top 100 books. And so I thought, see, I'm smart. Yeah, I don't have to prove it to anyone. I'm reading. That is why, I invested so much money in a library. Nearly 20, 25 years. Every month putting $500, $1,000, $2,000, taking bank loans. Because I believe the more books that I have, bestsellers, the smarter I'll become. Today, now it has been 25 years? No, more than 30 years. Today, what I've realized after all these books and all this stuff and reading so many, you can read 1,000 books. So what? Okay, let's say you read 10,000 books. Those 10,000 books are words and opinions, right? Someone's opinion or thoughts put in a book. So what does that make you? Does it make you like something like a super mutant, absorbs power like Phoenix and becomes invincible? Let's say you have the entire Wikipedia in your head. So what does that make you? Today we have softwares that just type something and you get what you want. In fact, if I ask you, let's say you read 100 books, how much do you remember out of each book? You'll find it very hard to recollect because you read and it's out and you'll only remember if you're using it. In fact, if you ask me, what do you remember of reading thousands of books? I'll be blank. I'll just be like, yeah, it gave me a perspective. But then if you ask me, okay, give me one good advice that you read, I'll give you something generic like believe in yourself or the power of reciprocity, do something good for others, and then automatically good will come back to you when you least expect it, or maybe sales techniques, because these are stuff that I use every day. Or let's say a Photoshop or Photoshop editing skill, which I read through the book and I did an online course. And because I use Photoshop every day, I'll remember it. But if you ask me, what did Yuval Noah Harris say in Homo sapiens, or what did Richard Dawkins say in The God Delusion, or Sam Harris say in The Free Will, or Christopher Hitchens in his essays, what did he say? Or let's say Carl Sagan. If you ask me about these people, I'll be blank. Well, if I read it again, maybe I'll remember. So the point I'm trying to make here is, it doesn't matter if you read one book or 1,000 books. What matters is, out of what you have read, what are you applying? And here's another thing. Before, I used to have a lot of pride that I read the whole book. I finished this whole book in 3 days. Thai Lopez, read one book a day and all that bullshit. Today what I've realized is, book authors, they will have one point and they'll just stretch it, just put words and paragraphs There are many people who do that, and most of the people, they want to sound intelligent, so they say published author, best-selling on Amazon. Yeah, you can employ the services of an agency and pay them money, and they will use their networks. Obviously, they'll be using your money to buy 1,000 books in 1 hour, and for that brief moment, it will show best-selling book on Amazon for that 1 hour. And there you have a best-selling badge. You can have paid reviews. Nobody can spot that. And you can say, see, 5,000 reviews plus reviews. But if you buy these books, like I've purchased, what is that? Subri, who is from King Kong Advertising or King Kong Agency. It was the greatest sales book or something. The whole book is not even worth as a toilet paper to wipe my ass. But if you see the reviews, they will say, oh, you'll think that this is a better book than the Bible itself. You see books from Mind Valley, or you see all these authors, all these self-help gurus, best-selling author. It's all bullshit. Bullshit reviews. Bullshit, 4,000 people purchased it, or best-selling Amazon. It's all fake. Today, we live in a fake it till you make it. In fact, you know this, Vishen Lakiani, one influencer, he says, you can read a book by touching a book. Touch. Google search. Don't take my word. He runs a company, I think in Malaysia. It's called Mind Valley, which is into yoga, the pseudoscience, tap therapy, then NLP, then affirmation, then positive thinking, then healing your chakras. And this guy says, if you just touch a book, you can feel the book, you can read it, you can absorb the energy by just touching a book. He has this video online. And here's the funny thing. People actually, when I posted that video some time ago, people said, Loy, you don't know. There is energy in a book, energy. You can absorb it by just feeling it. Reiki healing. And so, point being, you can even read garbage books like this, but what does it do to you, man? By reading a book on yoga, you become a yoga master. By reading a book on karate, MMA, or blockchain or cryptocurrency, all you're doing is trying to be aware. It doesn't make you, it makes you a little bit more aware. It doesn't make you, oh, super intelligent. If that was the case, by reading a book on cryptocurrency, you should have been appointed as the director of a cryptocurrency multinational company, right? Someone reading a book on engineering, should have been appointed as a technical manager for an engineering company, right? Come on, man. Grow up. By reading a book on how to get six-pack abs, I don't get six-pack abs. How do you know the information there is right for you? So, it's not necessary to read the whole book. It's not necessary to read 1,000 books. It's not necessary to brag about, like all this I've done. It's not necessary to brag how many books you're reading. This, all you're doing is for attention and to scream and shout, look, I'm smart, look, I'm intelligent, look, I'm relevant. But in the real world, nobody gives a fuck here. Maybe they'll be impressed if you're sitting with a bunch of guys and girls. Hey man, I read artificial intelligence, or I read Homo sapiens, or I read a book on cognitive psychology. I used to do that. I've read a book on cognitive psychology and behavioral sciences. Okay, I read. So what? That makes me a psychiatrist, psychologist, or scientist? Read a book to find out what you can apply. You need not read the whole book. You can read one chapter or one page. Apply that. That's more than enough. If, however, you want to read a whole book, fine. In my case today, I don't read a whole book anymore. I might read it to discipline myself, but I'll choose which book to read. And most of the time I end up with 6, 7, 10 books. I'll read one chapter here, one paragraph there, one thing here. There are book reviews, there are book summaries, there are YouTube videos, there are podcasts where people speak on the... So instead of reading a 400-page book, if I can listen to 4 hours of a podcast in 2x speed, then if there is anything important, I pause it there, and then I might actually open the book and research and do more research on it. There's Google. So don't go around bragging. This is up to you. You can keep telling people how many books you've read and all that, and like how I used to do. I don't do it anymore. So figure out where you can apply what you have learned. Yes, it is nice to tell people you have read so many books. Maybe if you're looking out for a job, or you put it in your CV, or these are your favorite authors. But mind you, if the guy who's taking an interview has more in-depth knowledge, he will question you. This has happened to me. He will question you. And then you'll have to, then either you shot yourself in the foot, or you bullseye, you got the job. So stop bragging. Stop using it as a means to enhance your self-value, and rather do it to become a better human being. I'm not saying don't show off. We all love to show off. Discuss with people. I'm not saying don't read a book also. Read a book. So don't cherry pick my advice out of context and say something. Read a book. But do understand what is your reason. Be clear about the agenda. If your agenda is to show off, brag about it, fine. You're clear about it. But if you're doing it unconsciously, then stop fooling yourself. And I'll tell you, in the long run, you'll see the difference between a person who claims to read 1,000 books versus someone who has read one book properly and applied it and made all the difference. In fact, I'll just conclude by telling you this. There are plenty of very, very rich people, very rich, very successful, good people, who maybe hardly have read a self-improvement book. So then what do you say to that? So let reading a book come from here, from a true intention, your heart. I know, we always think, heart doesn't think. But I'm just showing as a symbolic gesture. And sort your head out. Alright? And yes, go on with discussions and share your thoughts and all that. But don't try to fool people by going online, Google, Wikipedia, cherry picking this and then claiming, oh, I read this book or this. Stop it. End of the day, I tell people, yeah, you read these so many books. What does it show in your career? You're still working in a call center, or you're getting like $2,000, $5,000 per month. Yeah, that's it. So by being a PhD in reading books, what? People can say that also. People have said that to me when I was young. So you read 1,000 books. Do you have a house? Do you have land? Do you have savings? Do you have a career? Finish, no? Then I'm just an entertainment channel. So think about what I said and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Agree, disagree? And love to read them. You guys take care. This is me signing off. Chal.